Before it becomes a device, it has to become dependable.
In modern life, one object quietly carries time, memory, work, and connection.
So a flagship phone cannot just look premium. It has to earn a place in real life. Trust starts long before the first button is pressed.
It begins with materials selected for strength, weight, heat, and longevity. Every surface must survive pressure, impact, fingerprints, and time. Each material enters a chain where tolerance matters more than volume.
A flagship phone is not made in one room. It is orchestrated across an ecosystem.
At the core, performance begins where silicon is patterned at microscopic scale.
This is where computation is written in layers too small for the naked eye.
Speed, efficiency, and thermal behavior are decided by steps measured in atoms and seconds.
Automation drives consistency. Human judgment protects the standard.
A19 Pro is built to push intelligence, imaging, and responsiveness without wasting energy.
No flagship experience comes from one chip alone. It comes from a tightly tuned system. Seeing the world clearly starts with sensors built to interpret light with precision. Optics are unforgiving. A microscopic flaw can follow every photo forever. The display is where engineering meets emotion. Power has to last longer, charge safely, and behave predictable under stress. Inside, every millimeter is negotiated, so endurance can grow without losing balance.
The enclosure is not decoration. It is structure, heat path, and feel.
Every cut has a purpose. Every surface affects assembly, signature, or touch. Premium manufacturing is as much rejection as it is creation. The standard is protected by what does not pass.
Image quality starts with purity before the first image ever exists.
Consistency matters because weak variation becomes visible in the user's hand. At this level, precision is not abstract. It is inspected one contact at a time. Every critical part must be known, tracked, and accountable. What reaches the final phone has already survived a quiet series of no's. Then precision turns into motion. Heat, placement, and timing lock the electronic architecture into place.
The critical connections are often the ones you cannot see.
To stabilize the world, the camera itself must be aligned with extraordinary calm.
To stabilize the world, the camera itself must be aligned with extraordinary calm.
A premium camera is a machine built to move with control inside a body that barely moves.
The surface your thumb trusts is built in layers of hidden discipline.
What feels effortless at the surface depends on dozens of subsystems agreeing underneath.
Now the phone starts becoming itself. Protection is often invisible until the day it matters. There is a moment when assembly becomes identity. Every external detail is tuned because the hand notices before the mind does.
A flagship phone is also a record of origin, assembly, and accountability.
Then the machine breathes for the first time.
Before a user ever asks anything of it, the line already has.
Clarity is engineered, not hoped for.
Performance means nothing if it cannot stay stable under pressure.
Durability is not a promise made in marketing. It is rehearsed in testing.
A long day in the user's life begins as a long night in verification.
Luxury in technology is often the absence of visible compromise.
The last steps are about protection, efficiency, and first impression.
Packaging is where engineering meets. Then, thousands of individual devices enter a coordinated stream.
How a product travels also shapes the story it tells about responsibility. But a product is not complete when it leaves the factory.
It has to arrive ready to be seen, touched, and understood. Trust grows when craftsmanship is visible before a word is spoken.
The shelf is not the end of the journey. It is the first meeting.
In a few seconds, the hand decides whether the promise feels true.
Now the story leaves the controlled world of retail and enters real life.
The first opening should feel simple, because the complexity came before it.
A phone becomes yours the moment it remembers what matters.
What was manufactured as a product now has to survive as a habit.
People do not buy cameras for specifications. They buy them to keep moments from disappearing.
Performance becomes meaningful when it shortens the distance between idea and output.
Power matters most when the day refuses to slow down.
Endurance is an invisible luxury until the night runs late.
Trust is built from hundreds of tiny moments that do not go wrong.
Reputation begins when confidence becomes shareable.
What the user feels now was decided by standards enforced much earlier.
Long-term trust also depends on support after the sale.
At the end of the day, reliability feels almost personal.
A premium product also carries responsibility beyond performance.
The future of making depends on using more of what can be used again.
Even after use, the story of a phone does not have to end as waste.
Progress is stronger when upgrade and recovery move together.
From raw materials to real moments, every step exists to turn complexity into confidence.
This is the journey from material to trust, engineered with precision, tested in life, and measured by the value it creates.
For this episode. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. We hope this gave you a deeper look at how real quality is made and quality and why trust matters.